I failed probably 10 different times before I figured out, okay, finally, okay, this is going to be something that happens. Do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to take chances and just build on those mistakes with regards to, okay, this is what I did. I won't do that again. Let me continue to learn and keep it going.
Social media, trial and error, getting over your failures, not letting it derail you, getting rid of that inner discussion that prevents you from executing is the same formula for success in social media as it is in litigation, as it is in relationships, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The most fulfilling thing about it is, when we're running around the country trying to get these releases and get people to sign off, it's like, listen, I can't do anything about what happened. I'm so sorry about that. But now you have an opportunity to change your life, to redirect your family. And here's the money for you to do something different and have a new beginning for your family. So getting involved in cases like this, getting those results and being able to really change the direction of people's lives, it's just a warm feeling that you get inside doing that type of stuff.
If there was kind of an overarching thing that you feel like that universally would apply to people who want to make their lives better, more successful, more fulfilling, any thoughts? Okay, let's just start. Darren Miller, Houston, Miller and Associates, right?
D. Miller and Associates.
D. Miller and Associates, and we're back again after what to expect is the unexpected. Internet issues, we moved locations. So I want to go over again what I was asking you because, we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about a lot of things if we can. But as I was asking you about your practice, it was in the context of I see you now on a national level, not only social media, but just your practice dealing with these huge national issues, losses, catastrophic type scope. And I want to talk about that, but if you could start by telling us a little about you, like how long ago did you start, how you built a practice from what everybody's practice is local, to now building kind of a national practice. And then I'd love to talk about some of the cases you're dealing with.
That's great. Thanks again, Michael. Thanks for allowing me the time to be on the show and to meet with you and talk with you about this stuff. I started with as most of the listeners out there are going to will relate to. I started locally here in Houston. Whatever's going to pay the bills. I figured out pretty quickly it was going to be personal injury. I developed a fairly good following with regards to personal injury cases and getting them settled out and moving through the process. And as I kind of figured out, okay, I'm going to be able to pay my bills from there locally. I moved out further with regards to, okay, let's go statewide. And then fortunately, I come from a business background. I have an MBA, and my father's an entrepreneur, and he's always been about creating business and creating things where there was nothing. And so I created kind of a little infrastructure internally with regards to, okay, let's get these PI cases in. They're going to kind of pay the bills and make things happen while I figure out, okay, what's next? What do we want to target? Where are we going to go? Knowing that I'm going to need some of that money from the personal injury department to kind of seed other things. And one of the biggest things I want to make sure that people understand is I failed probably 10 different times before I figured out, okay, finally, okay, this is going to be something that happens. So again, everyone I tell, do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to take chances and just build on those mistakes with regards to, okay, this is what I did. I won't do that again. Let me continue to learn and keep it going.
Failures like what? Just off the top of your head, like what would be a failure that you came back from and redid it?
Like seeing a particular type of case that I want to like pursue. Like if, for example, if I saw some folks getting taken advantage of in a certain part of Texas, for example, and hey, these people need help. We need to go and help these people. Even though the law is not in our favor, it's the right thing to do to kind of take on certain challenges. And earlier in my career, it's like, okay, look, let's go and see what we can try and do to help. We know the law is against us. We know it's a difficult venue. I took on those types of challenges before. Now, Ken, I know you, Michael, you measure your challenges a little bit differently, and so you just have to kind of figure out, okay, is that the type of challenge I really want to kind of hang my hat on, but still kind of learning from those different things and then focusing on things that you can be successful on down the line.
So let's try to help put some perspective for people who are watching this, because I know who you are and I want people to know and a lot of people measure it by the successes, the public successes. I know kind of the thing you're most proud of, or at least one of the things, is the USC settlement. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that case, what was involved, and then we're going to talk about some of the other types of things that you're involved. So tell us about that USC case.
So I got a call from, several years ago, gosh, probably 9 years ago now, most likely, a young lady from Chicago. She was 18 years old at the time, and she got a scholarship to go to school at USC. So Southern California, University of USC, the storied university.
If you're in South Carolina, that means something different. But come on now.
Absolutely. Go Gamecocks. There you go. So she goes out to school. She's a freshman. She's an African American student. When she goes out there initially, she meets up with a young gentleman in the first couple of days. She has relations with him. Again, she doesn't know much about school and boys and all that kind of stuff. She's 18. So she has relations with this person. She goes to the quack shack on campus just to make sure everything's okay. Did I make any mistakes? All that kind of stuff. And the gynecologist says, "Okay, well let's check you out, make sure you're okay." She's never been to a gynecologist before, also, right? This is the university. This is the doctor that's in charge. So the doctor tells her, "Oh wow, you have a really," makes her disrobe, has her disrobe, and the spotter's right there. It's like, you know what? Wow, you have a really nice body. Okay. Um, and and then she gives the sign. Then he gives the sign to the spotter, like, "Okay, you can go now." So the spotter kind of dismisses herself, and he says, "Okay, I'm going to examine you. And did you reach orgasm? Did you tell me about the situation?" Well, wow, that's inappropriate. But okay, you're the doctor. Well, okay, well, I'm gonna examine you. And he then moves forward and digitally penetrates her to make sure that her system allows her to reach orgasm. And because she doesn't know any better, this happens time after time for a few years, where he is abusing her and setting new appointments to let her know, "I'm just making sure that you're functioning okay." This doctor did this for years. It made this young lady go crazy. She eventually dropped out. She became a stripper, a dancer, and it ruined her life. And the worst part about it was this doctor did it to thousands of young survivors, not victims, they're survivors, under the guise of medical help necessity, whatever you want to call it. And the university knew about it for over 26 years and did nothing to stop this shit.
Because people had complained and it was kind of swept under, or how did they know?
People had complained. People said, "I don't want to see him." Other staff members had quit, and they just kept covering it up for years.
So now you have a plaintiff, and now you find out through that litigation that it's happened to other people.
Right. So we have this plaintiff. We're like, "Oh my gosh!" And again, Michael, I've never done a sexual abuse case before in my life.
Had you ever done a multiple plaintiff case like this before?
I've done a multiple plaintiff case in other areas, but certainly not as related to something as sensitive as sexual assault. So as we start to ask more questions, we get a few more complaints of other people with the similar type thing, and it's like, wow, this. And then there's other litigations that are suggesting the same thing. So our number goes from 1 to 5 to over 147 clients. And so we end up having one of the largest groups of cases, even though we're in Texas, filing against the storied University of California out there on the West Coast. The scariest thing I've ever done, we had no idea how to do it. We didn't have the resources, but the biggest thing that compelled me, Michael, was the fact that I've got four children. Two of them are girls, and one of my daughters wanted to go to she wanted to go to Stanford, and I'm just thinking, what kind of guy would I be knowing about this problem if I don't jump in head first to see I've got to do something to correct and address this, even though the statute and the law was against us.
And so you start that process, then you get all these additional clients. There are other lawyers with other clients as well. And was that all put together in a same litigation?
It was. It was. They all put it all together in one court out there. There was so many different lawsuits of people complaining the same things, of the same issues. Of course, ended up being thousands of cases. And then when you include the class action portion, over 10,000, I believe, was the number there. But yeah, they all kind of put us together with regards to this thing. And I thought it was so funny and so interesting that the university would go out. Oh, we're so sorry about this. This is awful. We want to fix it. We want to address it. We want to make things right. And then they would tell us behind the scenes, well, yeah, all these cases that are within statute, okay, we're going to address it. But all these things that happened 5 and 10 and 20 years ago, you can go fly a kite.
Yeah.
So that's when we had to go and get uh, uh, get involved with politics out there in terms of changing the law so that our clients would have their day in court.
So ultimately, what was the final result?
Final result was we won. Was the final result. Those folks, it's kind of crazy. The folks that were in the class action, they ended up resolving it for probably an average of about $10,000 a piece, something in that area. And our clients, we had 100 of those clients, and our clients ended up with an average resolution of into the seven figures. So it was a fantastic result, more money than I've ever seen in my lifetime. But more importantly than that, we developed like a student bill of rights with regards to, okay, when you go in to see the doctor, this is what is supposed to happen. If they do anything other than this is what you're supposed to do. So we left the situation better than we found it. And again, Michael, that's one of the best things and the best feelings that you have. The money is great and everything, but are you making the situation better? And then after we settled our case, we saw all these different cases like, yeah, this happened at this school and this school. And it's just great to be a part of that process.
So let's talk about that because a lot of lawyers hear about this, a lot of people hear about it. And here you are getting involved, you've got 150 clients. How does someone who has a law firm that has a lot of clients in a case that's a bigger case? California now has these wildfire cases. We have, you name it, right? Were you then involved in the larger case that included everyone as someone with 150 of the plaintiffs?
It was really interesting, Michael, because like when we first got involved, when they would do kind of the recall, when we would do kind of check-ins with the court or just kind of all the plaintiffs getting together to have meetings, it was like you have all these California lawyers, and then you have a case here or there with someone with a one-off here, one-off there. Then you had us, which was like, who is this black lawyer out of Houston that we've got 3 cases, 5 cases, 7 cases. You have 147 cases from Houston. Who the hell are you? And so it was kind of like people are always watching and staring and wondering, right? And I knew what they were thinking, but it didn't matter because we knew what we had to do. And thank goodness my lead counsel, Andy Rubenstein, and the help that we had were just like, hey, we're going to get on the plane. We're going to fight. We're going to do what we need to. And we're going to earn our right to be a part of this. And because we had the fourth last largest group of cases, they had to bring us to the table.
And did that then teach you, I'm sure it did, kind of a formula, organizational setup, infrastructure setup that has allowed you to do bigger, more expansive cases?
It did. It did. Again, Michael, as you know, you kind of have to think through the process every time, right? And learn from your different experiences. We have other cases for, where we sign 4,000 Boy Scout cases and things of that nature. Every case is somewhat unique and like, okay, how can we work this? How can we do this? What is the best way? How is it going to be easier to communicate with clients, get information from them? Let people know what's kind of going on. So you just kind of have to be smart and not and know when you need help, right? In terms of, is this something I need to bring in another attorney? Is this something that I need to bring in to help with my infrastructure locally? And just think your way through the entire process.
So now taking that in your experiences, the kind of the setups that you've done. Now, tell us some of the things that you've been involved in, that you are involved in, uh, on a national scale.
Absolutely. Sex abuse has been something that that we have just a significant interest in. Because again, as you know, Michael, when when someone else is just kind of taking advantage of someone else and kind of getting their jollies, it ruins their life. And the unfortunate reality is that these things happen so often, all the time, all over the country. It's crazy to think that people take advantage of each other in the way that they do. One of the biggest cases that we just finished getting resolved was our sex abuse case against LA County. And that's a situation where our plaintiffs they've made mistakes. They get involved in the system, whether it's the correctional system, probation, whatnot. They go in to see their officer, their probation person. They get incarcerated, whatnot. And oh, okay, you wanna get off early? Okay, well, what are you going to do for me type of a thing? Oh, okay, you want a visit from your family? Okay, well, why don't we go over to this room here privately? And it's a systematic situation where everyone knows what's going on. It's happening for years, and people with the power are taking advantage of others. And so, being a part of that resolution, we represented 207 clients on this one. It just settled for about $4 billion. And, our clients are going to get a significant amount of money. The most fulfilling thing about it is, when we're running around the country trying to get these releases and get people to sign off, it's like, listen, I can't do anything about what happened. I'm so sorry about that. But now you have an opportunity to change your life, to redirect your family, and here's the money to for you to do something different and have a new beginning for your family. So getting involved in cases like this, getting those results, and being able to really change the direction of people's lives, it's just a warm feeling that you get inside doing that type of stuff.
And interesting, when I've dealt with people who have reservations, right? A wrongful death case, many times people are like, the death of my child, I'm not going to profit from the death of my child. And I say, well, then don't take that money, but give it to your grandkids. Give it to, right? There's
Yeah.
no, you don't let the abuser, you don't let the bad person keep the money. You are entitled to that. If you don't want it because it's whatever, fine, but you can put that to a use. Donate it to charity. Do
Yeah.
something good with the money. Don't just let the bad actor keep it because they've already made you feel bad and you feel worse. And
Yeah.
I found sometimes I've had people, well, look, I'm only taking this so I can get my grandkids set up through college and et cetera. I'm like, I get it, whatever the
Yeah.
reason is, right?
Michael, one of the things that we've got to do and why we have to do what we do is that we have a duty, because if we let people get away with certain things, they're just going to repeat themselves, and punishing these companies and these folks that have responsibility. The only way we can do it is monetarily. And then guess what happens? Oh gosh, I don't want that to happen to me. Okay, guys, let's make sure we're not doing this. So we're making society better by doing these things.
100%. 100%. Well, it's very interesting, and I have told you I want to come down to Houston and see your operation.
Yeah.
We're Gina and I are making plans. It seems like every other week we've got some trip that she's planned, and I'm like, oh, we're going there. Okay, so hopefully
Yeah.
she's going to tell me we're going down to see Darren in Houston in a couple of weeks. But
You
and I
you
really
need
want you
to.
guys. I want you to come to the ranch. I know we've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
So, and we
Yeah.
have a great place in Louisiana, and we got another event in November that we've been promoting on social media. But it's going to be a great event. We'll talk about that.
Very
But
cool. Very cool. Yeah,
so
I need
impressed.
to. I've got to get you involved in some of this other stuff, man. I mean, the things that you've done and the changes you've made on just on a nationwide scale, we got to get you involved. You asked me about kind of the other things that we're doing right now. One of the big things is video game addiction. We represent about 40,000 different clients as related to that case, and it's coming along. And anyone who knows the way in which these games are made, how do we keep you on longer? We don't care what your life is, what you're doing in your life. We want you on our system. We don't care about you socially, economically, educationally. We want you addicted to our system because the more you play on our system, we make more money. And so we're in the process of, I think, trying to resolve some of these cases along the way. But the most amazing thing, Michael, is that there is so much abuse that's going on online. We just started on this Roblox case, and all this it's awful. The stories of 50-year-olds taking advantage of this 12-year-old that has doesn't know anything about anything, and it's unbelievable. And having an attorney like you, Michael, getting your hooks into these guys and punishing these guys, it would be perfect.
Look, you ever need a trial guy? I'm coming in to do it. I'd be happy to do it, and I would. I know we've talked about it, but I would love to work together on things like this and learn from you. Actually, I would be. And one of the other things I want to learn from you, if we can kind of transition, as I was telling you this maybe offline, was I follow you on social media and I see this story, and then I see you tell a story of a real life event, and I'm thinking, how is this so interesting? How did he find this story out of the fire hose of information that is out there? And you tell it in such an interesting way, and it may be just like a fight, right? It may be a police abuse situation, and you tell a story. As we're all on social media trying to decide what to put, how to, keep attention, what process do you use? Is it just an intuitive process, or do you have a system?
So yeah, again, Michael, making a lot of mistakes, right? And making a lot of videos that no one likes and no one wants to watch, right? And then finally, I figured out I'm not good at making a lot of these decisions. So luckily, I've got a good team. I've got Daniel and I've got Giselle on my marketing team to kind of help me with laying out stories or looking at different things and seeing different options that are out there. And we have meetings to talk about, okay, this is what we like and this looks interesting and how can we set it up? And then they've kind of created a situation where systematically, okay, here's the story, and here's our storyboard, and here's what we're going to do, and then here's the animations to keep people's interest engaged in it, and this is how it relates to the law, right? Because they kept telling me, hey, Darren, you're talking a lot of stuff, but you're not telling us and teaching us what the law is, but also making it interesting. So we're just, again, Michael, it's just a very much that tweaking process with regards to, okay, cool, people like this, they're responding to this. They don't like this, but I like this. Well, we don't care what you like. What do they like? So it's just a very much of an interactive process to make it work. And we're starting to finally see some things trending in the right direction.
So we'll make sure that we put everything here whenever we play this in the bio, et cetera. But just since people watch it, I found it effective when I do podcasts or speeches or whatever to give my information. Like, where can people find you on social media?
Where can people find me on social media? Um,
Like, you're on TikTok,
um,
Instagram,
you know,
if it's kind of
so
everywhere, we'll just put it in the bio, which is fine.
yes. Okay. Well, I'm very proud of, my YouTube is just starting to get it's just starting to get rolling. We've just started to do some really interesting stories. And before I get to that, one of the things I did that was really interesting, Michael, I found an influencer and I said, "Hey man, teach me, show me." Okay. His name is Nate the Lawyer. And Nate the Lawyer is an attorney out of New York. And he puts videos out. If I put a video out and I get 2,000 hits, it's fantastic. He's not happy unless he gets a million hits. Okay. And he does that very consistently. And he took me under his wing and he's kind of showed me some things, and that's helped significantly. So that's helped with a lot of that, the presentation stuff. Um,
I'm going to put
but in
in Nate the lawyer and see what I
Nate the
get,
lawyer.
right?
Yeah, and I'm glad to make an introduction for you to talk to him. He's awesome. His stories are fantastic, and yeah, he's a good guy to know. But in terms of my finding me online, Facebook, D Miller Law, YouTube, D Law, TikTok, D Miller Law, and Instagram, of course, D Miller Law.
That's great. Yeah, it's interesting. I've done the same, and I create, I guess, what I've called mastermind groups without calling them mastermind groups. But we had lunch the other day with two other couples, and both of them were very, very high end social media people as well, both lawyers, but millions and millions and millions of views. I don't even know, 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, a million on Instagram, et cetera. And, my first thought was FOMO. I'm like, I got 30,000 followers. I'm a loser, right? And then I stopped. I stopped, right? Because I know that that's all just in my head. But you learn, and you learn about different techniques, and it is really a function of practice and repetition, as you're saying. But isn't that the case in every single thing that we
Yes,
do in our lives, right?
absolutely.
And social media, trial and error, getting over your failures, not letting it derail you, getting rid of that inner discussion that prevents you from executing is the same formula for success in social media as it
Yeah.
is in litigation, as it is in relationships, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
Yep.
You know that. I know that.
I know that. I know that 100%, Michael. And let me help you here, and help the viewers with one thing that will help them right off the bat. One thing that I recommend that you do right now or later this week or as soon as possible. That family that you just talked to, those social media attorneys, reach out to them. Say, hey, listen, hey, can we talk? Can we do a video together? Michael, if you get on a video with them and do something with them, it's going to blow you up. Okay, you're going to see an immediate spike with regards to something interesting, something good. Work out something with them to where, hey, can we talk about this? Can we do a video or something together? You will see an absolute spike.
My
I
man, what do you think
guarantee
I'm doing right now? Come on now. Come on now. You know, come on. Well,
Oh, my man.
I tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing you again in person. I know it's going to happen soon, but we've been talking about this. I'm so impressed. D. Miller and Associates in Houston, but you're going to see him kind of all over. Kind of last thoughts I finish with many times because I want this to be more than just law. Obviously, lawyers are going to get great legal information, but if there was kind of an overarching thing that you feel like that universally would apply to people who want to make their lives better, more successful, more fulfilling, any thoughts?
Absolutely, man. So I've been blessed and made some money in my life, which has been good, and I've been able to open my bank and some real estate and do some things there, and the money is good. That's great, but you have to do something that makes you feel happy. You have to do something that makes you feel successful. I see too many people involved in things that, gosh, this does not excite me. This is not fulfilling to me. Life is short. And before we know it, Michael, it's going to be over. So people need to stop chasing that dollar and take some time to, over the weekend, walk around the block, do as you do, go cross country and exercise, go Go think through the process. What am I going to do with the time that's left to make myself happy, to enrich those people around me, and putting real energy into doing those things? Because if you don't, before you know it, oh my God, I have completely wasted my time. And one of the things I'm never going to do, I'm never going to live with regret. Life is too short for that. You got to get on top of it and make it happen right now.
Amen. Come on now. All right. Darren Miller, D. Miller and Associates, thank you for being on AlderTalk. Thank you, my man, for coming on here. And it's good to see you again, and I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, bro, man. Keep doing all the good work. I love watching the trials. You running around the country, kicking the crap out of these bad defendants, making them do the right thing. Keep teaching us, keep leading us, and keep us informed, man.
All right. Thank you. Thanks,
All
everybody,
right,
for
bro.
watching.